Hey, what is going on, everybody? It has been too long. It has been too long. Very excited to be back. And we've got DLL on call. What is up, man? How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Had taco bowls.
Oh, that's right. You're are you 3 hours ahead? You're on East Coast time or Central?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're 3 hours ahead. It's past lunch. It's what? It's 1:15 for you.
Yeah.
Right on. People are like, thanks, Vega. We understand time zones now. You cleared it all up for us, buddy. All right. Josh, what's up, dude? How you doing, my friend? Jason, Rushing. Yeah, I miss these streams too, my friend. I'm going to try to start doing them on Wednesdays, but I have learned how much I should not say I'm going to do something. I should actually just do it and then have people be like, wow, he did something, as opposed to just letting everyone down. But I miss this. I miss this so much. This should be fun to help learn how to play my 4-star. Let's do it. Shout out. All right. Coming for, oh, nice, dude. I love seeing people enjoying war. It can be such a fun mode of the game. It can be so much fun. And just so you know, I did put in the CCP server yesterday. Hey guys, you know what? The items that you're sending us, I don't think we need that many once you fix the input issues. But keeping that going is making war so much more fun. War is stressful enough as it is. It produces these amazing highs, but it produces these amazing lows. It's part of, I think, what makes it fun part. But then to have to spend this outrageous amount of units or glory store items to heal up a champion that we boosted so that we could do well in war, it's like, I think this is exponential pain. What do you think, DLL?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome because it's like, I actually, it's not common, but some people do run out of these items.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is definitely possible because, as you mentioned, all it takes if you're running rank 4s in war with boosts is like one bad day to blow through 2 weeks of stuff.
Absolutely.
But I think like maybe 2 or 3 of those tier 5 war potions per week is just like a baseline. Like, this is how much health you're allowed to lose without dipping into anything else.
Yeah.
Would be amazing.
Yeah, and thanks for clarifying, because I'm not saying like, hey, I want to fail safe. I want to give me indestructible boost for 5 minutes in a fight. No, I'm not asking for something ridiculous. Like, I get it. There should be a cost to it, like anything else in the game. I just think, and I've seen more people enjoying it. Like, the competition for Masters feels higher than maybe, I don't know about ever, but it's really high. And whatever, this isn't a war stream, but that feedback was given, and we'll see where it goes. I'm very curious for this. PWF, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for being here. Bean, how you doing, man? Captain Easy, True Potential. We said hi to Rushing. Oh, I see, dude. How you doing, dude? Toffrey. All right, Toffrey. I always get a little nervous when Toffrey's on the stream, though, because I feel like he's going to be like, these amateurs. They are so not good at this game. But he's actually an incredibly nice person.
Because I've seen his close calls more than you.
Yeah, that's true. And also, the Toffrey, the person I'm getting to know, is an incredibly nice person. I don't think, if he thinks that, he keeps it inside. What's up, Renee? How you doing, dude? BK. There's so many BKs. I like the BKs. Cheers from New York. I think the other BK is also from New York. I wonder if that's the same BK or if that's a different BK. PY, it's going to be so weird going back to not using 3-minute boost for every fight. I know. I still have a full collection, and I still have a bunch in my stash in my overflow. But what's up? And what's up, Sylar? All right, let's go ahead and get to Toffrey. What close calls? All right, let's. So for those of you who don't know, I pulled a 6-star. I want to call him Sam Cap. I know it's Cap Sam, but Sam Cap Sam. On the live server. I wanted this champion mainly because of the show. I watched the show and I was just like, I love this guy. I love a lot of what he represents. This isn't the stream for that, though. And so I wanted him on my account, regardless of whether I ranked him up or whatever. The way I'm being, the people I've talked to, because I've talked to some very, very smart players about him who have used him and have done videos on him, things are like, look, I think he's going to be excellent for the battleground mode, which I'm incredibly excited about. And they think he's going to be great for war, which I take very seriously. I'm in for Loki and that sort of thing. I've played around with him a little bit, and I think the damage is lacking. And I feel like you're trying to do a lot of things, because there's a lot of utility in his kit, but I feel like you're trying to kind of set up these SP2s. I want to show it to you here, guys. And we will look through his kit, because there's a ton in this guy's kit. But you're setting up these SP2s, and they will consume. So look, this is the important part. For the duration of the special attack, increase proportionally to armor rating. You're gaining these armors throughout the fight, quite a few actually. But then you lose all of them with this attack. And for me, I'm finding this attack is not hitting hard enough to end the fight. So then but the negative is I've now lost all the armor ups, which if you're fighting like a Havoc, or if they were the source of the utility you needed, you've now got a real problem. There might be ways around it. That's why we have, like, honestly, an MCoC genius on the call here in DLL to see if we can figure this out. We've got a lot of smart players in the chat. I know these players. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm going to do some very, very basic fights against Deadpool. And I think it was Karate Mike who said this, or said something like this. I'm going to paraphrase. He's like, that's not where you're using this guy, though. That's not the point. And so I expect him to not look good. And then we'll jump into where we think his uses may shine. So we're just going to kind of go into that. DLL, should we run through his kit first, or what would you prefer? Run through the kit, or just jump into Deadpool and then kind of go back to the kit?
Probably good to at least touch on it.
Okay.
Like the most important thing being that he can't crit. He's another one of those techs.
Yes.
He has like other ways of doing damage there. Like you said, he gains armor when he hits things, and then those armors feed his abilities. I think one of the most important things is his bulwark buff, right? Like that's where most of the utility is.
That's here.
Heavy.
That's here on the.
It's after the, yeah.
No, so you're right. It's on the heavy and the intercept. I'm showing it right now.
Yeah, and I think that you might get some people dying early on with him because they don't fully consume an armor up buff, which means that if you don't have one,
yep,
as in, like you said, if you just threw a special and burned all of your armor ups,
yep,
and you try and go to get this, like it won't trigger unless you already have an armor up. That is, I do see some potential tension there, because you're right, like that. The minute you have somebody where it's like, okay, I did the thing, I did the big damage payoff, oh, they're still alive, the required skill cap goes up several levels. Especially
because, so one of the things that I was initially really excited about, and you're right, is this bulwark, because of the opponents having a minus 100% ability accuracy when hitting Captain America's block. And I want to test him on Hard Knock Life for this.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of the correct note, I always get the names mixed up, because that would mean that we need to get an armor up, then land an intercept, because if we get the armor up and then we parry, we're going to get the concussion. And then
that, or you're baiting heavies, which has its own potential issues.
Yeah. So I just want to see if there's ways to work around it, because there's a lot of initial like, oh, dude, this is awesome. And then it's actually trying to apply it. A good word to use, intention. And then, but there's a ton. I mean, there's a ton in this guy's kit. And I have them at SIG 200. So let's go over that just a little bit. So that's going to make the Red Wing lock on last 2 seconds longer. But that's just at SIG 1. That's just at SIG 1. And then that's increasing the attack rating by, that's a sizable amount, guys. Look at this. This is a rank 3 SIG 200. His attack,
like 35%.
Yeah, I mean, his attack's 3,000, and we're increasing it by almost 1,200. That's not nothing. So, but that's with the increasing SIG. That's at SIG 200, and then that's going to inflict more ruptures. Or it's going to inflict ruptures from the special too. But that's only through the block. I'm not sure why you're hitting through the block. In going through his kit, there's nothing.
I think that's probably mainly to make him a better defender.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. When either champion forms a well-timed block,
once.
Did you? Okay. Then it's definitely to make him a better defender. Let's go with that. Stick with it. No one ever say anything else. Captain America inflicts a sap charge. The sap charge is another thing. I don't want to. You guys can tell I've played with him a little bit. I'm hoping we discover some better stuff. When an opponent fails, or when the ability fails, this is kind of cool. This is reminding me a little bit of like Overseer, except part of what I love with Overseer is that he's ramping up when these abilities fail, not just having an instant damage. I don't remember what his damage back mechanic is called.
Right.
But there's no, if this like was increasing Cap's attack rating or
or if this inflicted a sap charge.
Oh, that'd be cool. Because the sap comes into play. Let me update this. We got OG Highline coming in strong. What is up, dude? How are you doing?
Grinfeld says, I was sleeping on Mr. Fantastic. I'm no longer sleeping on him. Utility beast. He has damage now. Welcome to the club, Grinfeld. We're happy to have you.
Yeah. Yeah. We've lost... And I've said to myself, it's like when your favorite sports team's like the Bulls, and you're like, we lost one last night. People are like, you're on the Bulls? But DLL's been all over Mr. Fantastic for like, I mean, what? But you were on him before the bot, right? I don't remember the timeline.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I was playing around with him, and I was like, no, this guy's legitimately good. I am finding ways to use him, but like his skill cap was much higher than, in my opinion, because the difference between like the 12-second debuffs and the 15-second debuffs felt like a lot more than 25%.
This is true.
In terms of like how rotations worked.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm doing cool things with him, but I do feel like I'm working. And then they buffed him, and I'm like, nah, he's absolutely amazing.
It's cool though, man, because the rankings video, I love doing it. I think it is good. People say it's very helpful. It's also by far my best viewed or most viewed video each month. And I still get comments where people are like, Mr. Fantastic, like, what, he's good at placing pre-fights? What else does he do? Like, is he's a top shelf pre-fight player? I'm like, go to the playlist. Look at what DLL's doing with this guy, my friends. Look at William. William, so speaking of the tier list, and William, that was you that gave me the amazing idea, right? I think it was you. I'm pretty positive. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Larry's here. Larry's here. What's up, Larry Diamond? How you doing, my friend? All right, so let's jump into this. I'm pretty sure I already have. Yeah, you guys can see. I spent quite a bit of time doing this. We're gonna look at two different rotations here. And we're going to go to the SP3 first, because I get terms mixed up here, but I believe that crit buff that comes off of it will make it significantly easier to land the sap charges. I'll let you guys see what happens. I'll let you guys see how this plays out. I'm gonna trigger.
Yeah, that's a massive crit buff.
It is. Now, I have a question for you though. Just reading through it, do you think you want to use lock on as much as possible without like weighing that more heavily than making sure you have it at the appropriate times? You know, I don't know if I phrased that very well.
I was still trying to figure that out, because like one of the first fights I did with him, I locked on through the special 1, and then I was building up to the special 2 to try and get the big ruptures with the physical vulnerability up.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, I had to bait a special, and I lost the physical vulnerability, and I felt like I'd wasted things. So then I was like, okay, well then next time I'm going to throw the special 1 first, and then lock on to get like maximum pause time on it.
Okay.
But I forgot that no, you only get 2 debuffs if you're locked on when you throw it. So I feel like there's probably an answer for about 80% of fights, but I think it's going to depend.
See, right here, I'm trying to figure out, I think I want to rush to my SP2. Yeah, but I don't think we're going to make it. Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, and part of that is just AI, because, like, it's 8 seconds, right? And it's paused for half a second on a hit, but you have to land hits.
Yeah.
I think that if it paused when you crit through block, since it lets you crit through block, that would be a pretty significant upgrade.
If it paused when you crit through block. Yeah, because then you could keep it paused more easily. Because that's the thing, is he does have a ton of utility in there.
Yeah, it may just be that we don't properly understand him yet, because when I first read through Cersei's kit, I remember thinking, I was like, oh, I'm disappointed because I can tell that there's going to be a lot of tension in this character trying to keep this active in time to do this over here, and then take it back to do this. Like, there's always timers running with her. And that's true. And I think that, if they'd made those timers a little bit more reliant, then you wouldn't have people sleeping on her as much because they would have seen it faster. But I think that the results are good enough that it's worth balancing her timers and playing through her rotations. And even if you don't line things up perfectly, you're still getting results. I hope that's what's true with Sam, but I haven't quite felt it yet.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm trying to land 2 of these physical vulnerabilities off of the SP1, and then seeing if we can race to the SP2. Right there would have been great where you were talking about DLLs hitting into the block. Yeah, we're not going to get there.
Yeah, because then if you wait for Locked On to come back, you're going to lose the physical vulnerabilities. And I feel like that's one of the core tensions of his kit.
Do you think maybe I shouldn't be doing 5-hit combos? But he has no... I can't... was it Infuriate? What is the debuff from Herc that makes the opponent more likely to attack in?
Right.
I can't think of what it's called. But you guys know what it's called. It's the synergy he has with Black Panther, gives it to Black Panther. And I mean, I know Deadpool's got a nice heal here, but the reason I'm using this Deadpool is, one, I mean, we've got class advantage, but he's only got 220,000 health. This is a 6-star rank 36200 cap. And so I'm just struggling to think of utilizing his utility in a demanding fight and how long that fight's going to go, and then mistakes start happening.
Yeah.
Let's try just one SP2 for the physical vulnerability. For anyone here, let's look at his kit real quick so you guys know what we're talking about. That's a lot of type before you get to the special attacks. It's just weird just going through it. So the last hit is going to inflict this physical vulnerability debuff, decreasing physical resistance by 238. So it's only 1 off the last hit. And I know I apologize, guys, we're not paying as much attention to the chat today just because we're doing the testing. But I saw someone say, do we think this is going to be like Spider-Man 2099? I don't think it's going to go completely to that level because I don't see it yet. So last hit, but I understand the analogy. Sorry, that's why I wanted to tie that up. So last hit inflicts this physical vulnerability, increasing, and then if we're locked on, it's going to inflict a second one. So we want to be locked on there. So maybe the problem was trying to get 2 of those, and because we want to keep locked on for the special 2. So get close to the special 2, land the locked on with the special 1, then come back, and there's no way to get more armor ups, right? Like they just are coming. There's like a 30% chance per hit.
Right. So I want to real quick go over the physical vulnerability decreasing resistance by 238. I don't think it's immediately obvious to almost anyone, including me, what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over to Aunt May because they have a stat calculator to like run through diminishing returns. And I plugged in like 239, and that's about against somebody with no physical resistance baked into their kit, that's going to be about a 10-11% damage increase on basically everything he does. If you get 2 of them up, it's like a 19.5% increase. If you manage to land all 4 like you were going for, then I think it's about a 33% increase. So like we are talking a real damage boost here, especially because that will then be multiplied by the 40% fury you're getting from the SIG because you're locked on.
Forgot about that.
So like maybe we assume that getting 4 up probably isn't feasible in most fights, but if we assume that you can get the 20% boost, if you just do 1.2 times 1.4, like landing a special 2 in locked on with 2 physical vulnerability buffs on the opponent should be a nearly 70% boost in damage, which would feel pretty good.
All right, let's see. We should be able to do it here.
But it's 70% over what is also the answer.
So, I mean, I would not expect this to do over 100,000 damage, though. It only did, what was that, less than 30% of his health. It's not...
So 60, 70?
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, I mean, that's really not bad for a champion that you're probably using to make sure you don't die to disorient or send them red because of kinetic transference.
So then what do you think you do after that? Just the same, repeat it twice? Repeat the process a second time?
Yeah, I think it probably is just kind of repeat it. The thing that's going to be scariest is that, like, what you don't want to do is imagine you're facing an apocalypse on Node 26 in War. I think that's probably one of his most promising matchups. So for anyone who doesn't know, in Tier 1, Node 26 has an ability, or has a node on it called Defective Defense, which means that whenever you block, you have a 100% chance to get hit with a disorient, which reduces your own defensive ability accuracy, as in your parries fail, and it reduces your block proficiency. So if you block a full special one from Apocalypse, even just those 3 beams, you basically lose all block proficiency. And it's really scary how quickly it adds up. So Sam would be great for that. Because of that Bulwark, he gets extra block proficiency and the disorients won't trigger. But at some point you have to win the fight. So imagine that you cash in and you're rushing to make sure that you get your special 2 off in Locked On while you still have the physical vulnerabilities up. Boom, you've now hit Apocalypse, done a bunch of damage. Let's say it's 70,000. That's going to feel fantastic in War. But it's important to note that he doesn't really benefit from power back boosts because he doesn't crit and most of his damage is red numbers. And you are now completely out of armor ups, which means that even if you manage to perfectly intercept Apocalypse, you're not going to get the Bulwark right away. And so if you've now given him a bar of power and he throws it into you, you may have lost the benefit of using Sam in the first place. And that, I think, is my single biggest worry with his rotation. I mean, if you get the Bulwark immediately before throwing the special 2, you're going to have some uptime where you can get armors back up and you can fix that. But, like I said, the utility seems powerful because there are very, very few champions that can do anything against that particular Apocalypse. So, like, he gets bonus points for that. But it does seem like you're going to need to be a pretty skilled player that's pretty comfortable with him because there's a number of plates in the air.
So, I mean, everything you said made a ton of sense. While you were doing that, what I was trying to do was just play him like a crazy person. And it was going really well until it wasn't. I think I'm misunderstanding his auto block, though. For each armor up, okay, so each armor up is reducing the opponent's bleed ability accuracy. Okay. He can block...
Right, that's why the L2 didn't bleed out.
Yeah, which was nice. And he can block unblockable specials for mutants, so it's only for mutants.
Hey, Campo, how's it going?
What's up, Campo? Zanjasar, what's up, dude? And I think I saw Jason, J-Well. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? 10% chance per armor up effect, so it's only 10% chance. So you can't play like an insane person. Incoming, for the auto block incoming special attacks up to 75%. So it's still only, it's not 100%. This auto block counts as well-timed block and removes all personal armor ups. Auto block chance is increased to 25% per prowess. So your auto block's only on champions who have prowess.
Right.
So he's not someone you can just play like an insane person then. I guess the SP3 has, well, it's never good to play like an insane person, but you get the point. The SP3 though has this. If you have it with a special lock on, and if you have it with lock on, you throw the SP3 with lock on, you can inflict a special. I know you can inflict a special lock, preventing specials. So I want to try the SP3 with lock on, and then I'm going to try to do a lot of backdraft intercepting, get the SP2, throw it, and then we'll move on to.
I will also say I feel like you probably borderline need him at least Sig 1.
Because of
because the extra 2 seconds on locked on, it's a lot like OG Falcon. Because I just tried to do the special 1 to special 2 within lock on rotation with my undo 4-star, and I missed it by about a second.
It's such a tight window though, and tough fight. I mean, I'm actually kind of getting excited to take him to these other nodes. Because, one of the questions we always get is like, what's the great rotation for champion? You're like, well, it's really going to be more situational, like with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Like, you want to understand his judgment system, and then you're going to be able to attack the nodes. Like, I'm having hope that that's the vibe with this guy, is that he's just not going to look good here. He just flat isn't. What I want to see though is the sap charges.
Yeah.
When you get to 25 of them, it's a power drain.
Yeah, it's a power drain passive. It's above right there. It's above where it says always active. Above where it says recon scan. There it is.
Okay, so
50% of power over 15 seconds. Like 50% is good. That's more than Nimrod's power drain.
And it's passive.
And that's a big deal.
And you're landing saps when you would have crit, right? They coincide with your ruptures?
Yes, or on well-timed blocks as long as he's Sig 1, which I think is another reason where it's like, you just need this guy awakened.
So there's potentially a strategy where you just sit there and well-timed block to get those going, and then
Except you probably don't have the right tempo, because they will eventually wear off.
That's right. Do they get refreshed when you're locked on? There's some sort of refreshing technique, I believe, or pausing technique, right?
Striking the opponent while locked on pauses for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. All right. So I'll do what I can to kind of set up the SP3, have a decent because it won't happen until the locked on. Because I want to make sure I'm locked on when I throw the SP3. So I think just build to the SP3, throw the trigger locked on, and then just go ham from there, because he'll be special locked. Hopefully we trigger enough saps, and then he's power drained. Have to stop playing like an insane person, let him throw a special, and then go in for the.
We're getting a lot of good comments in the chat about people preferring the 5-star to the 6-star because rank 5s have a better combat power rate and you can run through his rotation better.
Great call, guys. Thank you for pointing that out.
Which makes me wonder, why does Nimrod get a huge, powerful energize and this guy doesn't?
Dude, I have to tell you, Nimrod, when I first started playing Nimrod, and you've seen me go through this process, like I put out that video yesterday, 2 years ago, and I was like, this is 4 years ago when DLL was running an alliance and I was playing in it. And you've seen me go through this process, and it's obviously gotten a lot better over time, where I'm like, this guy's really good. And one of the ways I know he's really good is because I have no clue what I'm doing, and I'm destroying people. And that's what it was with Nimrod. And then over the course of 3 or 4 videos, I understood him better and better. And then now you and Strands are putting out videos where you're showing the SP3. Dude, even in my last Nimrod video, I didn't even go over the SP3 because I was like, I thought it was more for like if you're attacking huge health pools. But you guys are showing, like, you just put out your off-season war video with, against Mole Man. I was like, dude, you're taking Nimrod with Mole. Like, what are you thinking?
A terrible Nimrod match on its face.
But you made it work, and the SP3 did work. You guys should check that out. It's really cool. But Nimrod, I guess the point of that was, Nimrod's even better than I realized he was the last time I put out a Nimrod video calling him the Tech Human Torch.
He's so good. The KT1 says that the way Nimrod feels is like you're squashing bugs. Yeah. And I completely agree.
And even his, like, I think it's his heavy and his medium animation where he just throws his arm out. That does feel like it. Like it's a good call.
And I love the way he floats for his special 2 animation, which is normally the way the fight ends. So he just kind of like sinks to earth, like my work is done, and the opponent's just dead.
And he just
satisfying.
He just looks like I love that champion. So that's also part of why I'm so interested in this. Is I'm not pulling Nimrod. I just can't pull him to save my life from this featured crystal, and I am really tempted to put my signature stones into him. I've got like 80 to 90 in both tech and in generic. And he's feeling like a great place to put them. No, I don't want that yet. Shoot. Let's cancel out. I did not actually mean to trigger that. But Cap Sam would obviously be a competitor for those Sig Stones. And then, I mean, I don't know if I truly don't know. The CCP does not know if the league, anyone who doesn't want to hear who the league champions are for next month, close your volume for like 10 seconds. The league champion of Omega Sentinel, I don't know. I was really excited about her. If she's coming to the game, I could see myself being tempted to, use them on her. Or at least it's causing me to hold off a little bit. So,
I know. I'm honestly slightly annoyed that they keep releasing really cool tech after really cool tech, because I'm trying to make decisions here.
Do you remember when Mysterio came out and he was the new prestige champ for tech, and he has a passive heal block too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, cool. And you pulled him, and I don't know if you did, but people pulled him and used their stones in him. Oh, no, what am I doing? God, I need to stop doing story time and testing at the same time. And then Warlock came out, I think, the next month, right? Was it 1 month or 2 months later with higher prestige and a significant...
And that wasn't powerful. Long after.
Yeah.
After Darkhawk came out, too, if I remember correctly.
Which you would, because you had Darkhawk at a pretty high sig, right?
Mm-hmm. I grinded for him in the arena and took him to 565 Sig 200 within a week after.
Sorry, guys. I will get this fight correctly here. I'll stop telling stories. Hey, PPG, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for being here, man. Neb, W, would you recommend using a generic Awakening Gem on Nimrod? I'll give my answer, and then I'll actually do this fight properly, and then we'll let DLL say. That one's a really tough one for me, despite how good I think Nimrod is, and despite feeling that even just Sig 1 is a massive deal for him. I was on him so early and so excited about him that I think he actually probably is. That's a big deal to use a generic Awakening Gem. Whether you're talking about the 5-star or the 6-star, well, that means wherever you're at in the game, it's a big deal. And I usually like to use those for champions that you're going to either take to Sig 200 because you're going to have them be part of your prestige, or because it opens up a whole new ability. Think like Hercules. There's someone else I'm thinking. Archangel. But
Nick.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, that's a perfect call. But I think if you like Nimrod, if he's going to help your account, I think he is. And then let's have DLL probably give a much better, more nuanced answer than I do.
Yeah, I agree. I think he, for the reasons that you're describing, he clears my threshold for using a generic gem. But I'll be honest, not by a lot. If I had a tech gem, I would definitely go with that. He's an easy tech gem. I wouldn't think twice. Generic, I would kind of look over my roster and ask myself, out of the champions that meet my personal threshold for a generic, like Nick, like Archangel, how many do I already have? Am I sitting on a mutant gem or a romance gem for Archangel? Am I sitting on a skill gem for Nick? Have I started making progress on some piece of content that's going to give me another gem? I try and weigh those things and figure out just what exactly the opportunity cost is for Nimrod. Because if I'm already sitting on, oh yeah, I've got an Awakened Rank 3 Nick, I've got an Awakened Rank 3 Archangel, I'm now forgetting who the other person you said was. But and then you're like also set on at least a couple prestige ranks. Maybe you already have Doom and Surfer or something. Then it becomes really easy to use generic on Nimrod because you're not really missing out on much. But that's what I'd be asking myself.
I think this isn't where you use Sam Cap, because the things he can potentially help you with aren't problematic here, and so I mean the auto block was nice. It came in and saved me there. Why did the auto block save me? Was it just because it was a special? It was a special, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the combat power rate issue really does seem to be coming up. I don't agree with you, United States of Smash, that rank 3 6 stars should have the same combat power rate as rank 5 5 stars, because we're eventually going to get rank 5 6 stars. And I think that you'd be setting yourself up for some really dangerous stuff on Kabam's part if you did that. You also have to keep in mind that when we're doing content and we're facing higher rank 6 stars, all of that content would be harder. We'd have to bait specials more. I personally don't want that. But I also don't think that any champion should be tuned so that they only really work as a rank 5. And so I'm wondering if maybe a lot of the testing Kabam did on him was as a rank 5, and maybe that's part of the problem. It is nice that he doesn't miss.
Okay, so
this was a good one to test.
Yeah. It's hard, right? Because maybe we can find a Maw somewhere simple, like a simple Maw to go against. Because the other thing I wanted to see there was that that damage back. That's in the SIG.
Mm-hmm.
When an opponent misfails or when their ability, I feel like I saw something a lot bigger than 889.
Probably because you were locked on, and so you would have been getting the 40% boost.
But it says damage scales with base attack only. So base.
Right. Oh, Maw takes extra.
Oh, he does.
Right. He has built-in. It's basically like half of one of your physical vulnerabilities. So he'd be taking like 5% extra.
Maybe it was a rupture. Maybe it was a rupture that I saw. Because I don't feel like those numbers are adding up properly.
Oh, or you had physical vulnerability on him. Because that's not the same as something can scale with base attack and still do extra that way, I think.
Okay, let's try it again. I also thought I had to be locked on for some of that. I'm not going to trigger locked on at all. Let's see.
Yeah, I think you do need it to bypass the miss.
Okay, that was weird too. Why did Bulwark trigger?
Because you intercepted?
That I had to have an armor up.
Did you know?
I think it was the start of the fight. If anyone can, go back in the stream. Okay, I missed. You have to have lock on.
Oh, it can happen on the same hit. The very first hit of the fight, it said both armor up and bulwark.
Really?
So you have to get lucky with triggering the armor up.
Yeah.
But it can happen on the first intercept.
Okay, and you've got to be locked on, and that makes sense. You've got to be locked on for the miss. I mean, that makes sense with his kit. I just got lucky with the bulwark there. What's up, 2 Extreme? How you doing, dude? Slayer. How much you want to be the first in the balance program? So, I happen to know that he's not, actually. I understand why you would say that. I totally get it. It's just, I happen to be in the CCP. So, the balance program does not start until March. So, the champions that come out next month. Doesn't mean that he can't get an increase or won't be ever looked at. And in fact, I think that's their goal, actually, guys. I really do think I really believe they're trying to do a good thing here. And that putting out champions, they're not wanting to rebalance them. So when they get to the point in the timeline where March, like that's 6 months after March? August? I think it's August or September. When they get to that point, if the March champions don't need to be rebalanced, then the time that they would have spent looking at those champions, they'll look at Cap if he needs one, or America Childless, please. but that sort of thing.
Purgatory.
Yeah. So, yeah, these mystics. What's up, Zach? How you doing, dude? From the machine, I've watched this utility seems very finicky. That's my other slight concern here. What's up, Mr. Belding? How you doing, dude? And Campo's here too. Everybody's here. This is amazing. Let's do one more against Ma and see if we can see what the damage back is. I need to be the one on my live account. My live account is not awakened either, so we can't go there and test this. And I need to let Ma kind of do his thing, right? Because he's got to get his. Can't think
right,
what it's
you
called.
can't use a heavy.
Yeah. Do we wait? I'm confused now. Do I need to be locked on to block the? Yeah, it's just 9-10. Right?
Okay, so yeah, that's probably just because you don't have any physical vulnerabilities up right now, so that would be the like 5-6%.
Got it. Okay. Well,
that makes sense.
But see, now we run into the situation where, I mean, locked on's down. But I mean, this is if you're familiar with playing Falcon. It's not like this is a new problem. This is just
right. Of course, if I'm going to use the counter argument is that when Falcon's locked on, he ends the fight faster than most champions.
That's true too, and we're not exactly noticing this immense amount of damage that is causing us to be able to end the fight in those windows. What's up, Zach? XNMF, what's up, dude? Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the support, man. As long as they don't hurt Kitty Ghost. I haven't seen an official statement saying like we Kabam promise not to do that, but everything that I've read or been told or led to believe is that they have no intentions of touching those champions. This is about the future. This is about March to however long. And I do think if done properly, this game's got a lot of life.
Besides, if they get rid of power back boosts, those champions are fine.
This is true. and I'll tell you guys, because I've thought it through a lot. And if you saw, I put out a video being like, do not spend. I wanted you to watch the video. I went kind of big. It's the most clickbaity thing I've ever done. It was because I wanted people to be informed of the program. Because I didn't want people to go in and get cav crystals and then have potential changes made. And that will be the feedback or advice I will give to Kabam once we get to March, is be like, please send out more than one in-game message reminding people of this rebalance program. That's it.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do that. And if they don't, I'm sure, I feel like they'll do something else. DL, I know you have thoughts on it. I don't want to not give you a chance to say it. No. And I'm going to look for, a Hard Knock Life note or something like that. What's up, James? How you doing? Hyena? Nerd. What's going on, man? So, Savvy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I saw Savvy. I had to say hi to
Savvy. Hard Knock Life thing, but I also...
Thank you.
One worry I have about him...
Yeah.
It looks like 722 and 733 are your best bets.
I don't know if I can access those.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, they did it.
Only...
Thel.
Oh, they added them?
Thel is awesome. Thank you, Thel. 722?
Yeah, or 733.
Okay. Thank you.
But so my concern is, like, yes, he can do it on intercepts, which is a big upgrade over somebody like Cersei, or even, Proxima, because he also gets that big block proficiency bonus. The fact that he can do it on a heavy, and we were talking about like, oh, you can just bait a heavy and counter it and also get it that way if you don't feel safe with your intercepts. The reach on his heavy is pretty pathetic.
Yeah, it is.
And that, because like when I was testing Cersei, I was like, all right, let me bait out a heavy, throw this, and it connected like every time. And then I had up what I needed to have up. And so that's one thing that does worry me, is like, as amazing as his animations are, like compare the reach on his wings to the reach on Archangel's wings. It's a little annoying.
Yeah, it is. I'm realizing I don't, how do I get to those nodes? people in the chat are probably like, "You idiot! You just what am I missing here? Oh, is this it?"
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. There's. Well, Tech Ascendancy is nice. Power Snack is going to be annoying.
Yeah.
Although actually, he has anti-nullify utility, so this could be interesting.
He does.
Kind of. He's not going to prevent the Power Snack, but it should. It has like a chance to turn into a passive instead, I think.
Oh no, you know what? You're right. I think it's actually 100%. And I remember thinking though, this is the age-old. Remember when Havoc first came out, and we were trying to look for answers, and someone had a passive armor up, and that's when we're like, it doesn't work against Havoc. Against Havoc, it needs to be a buff, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Because what is it like? Iron Man Infinity War doesn't work or something.
That's who it was.
I'm double checking.
That's who it was. And guys, I said something earlier, and I was wrong, so I want to correct it. He does not need to be locked on to trigger parry versus non-contact attacks. He needs to have an armor up. So that's why those are failing against Maw.
Gotcha.
Where is this? And no, this should be in here. Okay, here it is. This buff, the armor up buff, turns into a passive when nullified by something other than an armor break. So we should see all of those armor ups become passives here. So that's kind of cool.
Right. You just want to make sure that Power Snack's in cooldown when you try and get the Bulwark.
Great point. Jesus. I'm sure I'm going to mess this fight up. We'll go ahead and
Savvy's asking, just took CGR to rank 3 for Thronebreaker. What would you recommend to do next in terms of content? Well, given the possibility of I know you're asking Vega, not me, but given the recent release or the recent leak of possible Act 7 rewards, if there's anything in Act 7 you haven't fully explored that you're capable of doing, I would be looking at that. Yeah, I think I would probably do that over Act 6 right now if I could. If you feel like maybe you're having trouble with that, then maybe look at some of the stuff in Act 6. I think Chapter 3 and 4 are generally considered easier. If that's beyond you, then maybe see if your team lines up well for any of the variants.
I have to say, this is very... I'm new to him, but this is not fun. Like, there's too much to pay attention to. Like, I already forgot. There's a lot to pay attention to. I don't know how else to explain it than that. I'm going to try going to the SP3.
Oof.
Yeah.
This is why we hate Disorient, and the possibility of countering Hard Knock Life appeals to us so much. That blocked special was stupid.
But I feel like what's happening right now is, and again, some of it's being new to the champion. I think as you play them, things will become more second nature. Right now, I feel like I just need to concentrate on one part of his kit and that one part only.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested, but this just... He feels like a project.
Yeah.
Whereas I took Nimrod to rank 2 and took him into war like 2 days after getting him, barely having played him. He did great for both fights involved. And I took him to rank 3 and took him to a war later that week. And like, he's become one of my best attackers. And this just is not quite that.
Not for me anyway. There might be some people who pick him up and make and can make him look amazing right away. I want to try that again.
But I think that's one of the biggest things that we're coming away with here, because like when people ask if they should rank Falcon, what we say is if you can tolerate the playstyle. It's more of like a fun issue. I think with Sam, what I'm getting thus far is like rank Sam if you enjoy and are good at the play style, because otherwise he's probably going to frustrate you pretty quickly.
Yeah, good word, frustration. It's like that game they play with kids where they show them like a picture of someone's face and like, what do you think they're feeling right now? It's like you were looking at my face. You're like, what emotion do you think Vega is feeling at the moment?
Hey, Bryce, how's it going, man?
What's up, Bryce? MU8. I want that Cersei video, dude. You talked about it, and now I check YouTube every morning, hoping it's there.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am. That's my way of saying I'm looking forward to it. Show off damage with the Cap Infinity War synergy. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I want to try to get this fight down. Then we'll look at Cap Infinity War. Jeez Louise, and that was with a 40% base attack.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I do want to be...
Yeah, please.
Vulture does have a somewhat significant armor up.
Okay.
And that does make champions that don't crit look worse.
Okay.
Because most of your damage is going to be the red numbers. But yeah, that was a little tough.
I'm going to pay attention only to getting hit in the face. I just want to get hit in the face a lot. To Hard Knock Life. And see if I can just kind of keep it from being a problem. Jeez. There we go. No? Why didn't I get the art?
That one got nullified because Power Snack was on cooldown.
Jerks.
Or was not on cooldown. Hey, Snoops, how's it going, man? So, Richard Belding says, really enjoying Sig 20 OG Black Panther, goes wonderfully with my rank 3 hurt, might pull the trigger. I don't think that's a bad call. I don't think that Black Panther is like the optimal use of skill resources necessarily, but I do think he's a good rank 3, and if you run a Herc a lot, there's a lot of value there. I don't think that I don't agree that he's unplayable under Sig 200. I don't agree with that at all. I mean, he still has solid bleed damage, he still has the Purify utility, he still has some ability accuracy reduction, and that can help make fights simpler, even if you're not relying on it for life or death things. Yeah, I think that's a good rank up. Mine will probably go up at some point. The power drain is legitimately helping you in this fight. So that is one thing that, like, I felt like it was not going to be super helpful.
Yeah.
And it does seem like it's making a difference.
This whole second fight's been better. I think some of it's me having a better idea what I'm doing, and I also think some of it was just purely focusing on trying to not let Hard Knock Life.
So that was interesting. On that intercept, you triggered an armor up, which was nullified and turned into a passive, and you consumed an armor up to get the bulwark, which is why the bulwark didn't get nullified. So that's kind of an RNG thing, but that's cool.
Yeah, that definitely was not an intentional, like... I didn't do that on purpose.
Between him and Jabari, both duped. I mean, I took Jabari up first. I enjoy her more. But I also am not running Hercules a lot. I could definitely see that changing my mind.
See, I would want this to finish him off, and it did 7% of his health.
Yeah, that's not what Special 2s are supposed to feel like.
Not after this long in a fight.
And actually, something I just remembered is I was talking earlier about how one of the uses that would potentially excite me the most for him would be Apocalypse on 26. Apocalypse has crit resistance, which means you're going to be landing far fewer ruptures and far fewer sap charges.
Let's see if it finishes him. If it finishes him, then he might be okay. If it doesn't, he sucks. Oh, he might be okay. The other thing, though, as I was playing the fight, is like I feel like you want to be intercepting with this guy, like just because of the special lock off the SB3. He's got like these safeguards. I don't know. It's something about I found myself intercepting there, which doesn't make a lot of sense if I'm so worried about Hard Knock Life and I'm trying to keep up the bulwark. But that could just be gameplay. That could just be a like, okay, don't do that. Then you don't have to. No one's telling you have to do that.
I think that is something that you can probably try and hold on to is like once you have the bulwark up, tell yourself, all right, I need to parry more. Because that's the thing is once you get the bulwark up once, as long as Power Snack is on cooldown, you can parry heavy and refresh it. And then you have 100% uptime on it.
So I think that's just getting more comfortable with playing him. Because right there, I still was just kind of at the seat of my pants a little bit there, you know? What's up, Would you?
Yeah, I definitely have the easy seat right now.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for saying that. Let's see. So I'll still just try to focus on bulwark if I can.
Yeah, Snoops, that is the worry. I mean, this should feel better because it's not only is it a mutant, Archangel also does not have native armor. And I really think that is going to help here. But we'll see.
Whew. Man, that was your analogy with Archangel was awesome there. One of them's got big old wings, and the other one, those wings are not. They're not going to impress anybody.
It might be worth it to pair. Okay, you got it. But I was going to say it might be worth it to trigger Hard Knock Life once on purpose. I'm not sure.
So that combo, this feels like a decent amount of. But we've got those massive furies.
Yeah. And see, now I would maybe intentionally parry to. Okay, but it's gone.
Yeah, I messed that up for sure. And we're probably gonna get an SP3 here. Nope.
See, too extreme. I'm not sure I agree with that because damage is not Purgatory's problem. Having played quite a bit of her, that is not the issue with her kit.
I think you've probably spent more time on her than anyone else. Have you put out a full video on her? I know you put on like how to fix her, right?
Right, which was basically kind of it was like 70% of a guide because I had to explain how she worked before complaining.
Yeah. Well, that was nice of you to do that.
I mean, yeah. I think she's going to be great eventually. Damage definitely looks a bit better on this one.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get too enamored by the armor ups or the furies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait until I have until he kills me. But I'm trying to wait for cool. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, damage definitely looks a lot better.
That is how these nodes are built, though. Like they do. You're supposed to take advantage of the furies.
Yeah, there's a little element of me that's like, well, this is the game now.
Yeah. Oh, one point I was going to make earlier that Purgatory reminded me of. I think the biggest, like we talked about how the power drain is helping you here by counteracting Power Snack. Like it is, I think, better than I thought.
The what?
But the power drain.
Oh, so it's helping counteract the power gain from Power Snack?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's clearer. Yeah. But one thing that bothers me about the power drain is that on some level it kind of feels like a win more mechanic. Yeah. Because if you're able to land that many hits, if you're able to keep locked on that much, if you're able to do all the things that you need to get multiple triggers of power drain in a single fight, you're probably not in danger. Whereas, like, if you are having to back off, having to slow play, having to bait specials, you're never going to see that power drain. Because this is something I was trying to use Purgatory on Misty Knight on my alt.
Yeah. And
Purgatory has a passive slow against skill champions. Like, it's one of the coolest parts of her kit, and it's perfect for Misty because she's she can't purify.
I'll be right back, guys. No, you go ahead and keep going, DL. I'll be right back.
Okay. But so, like, in theory, Purgatory should be one of the single best counters to Misty Knight because she can apply a passive slow that counters her evade and can't be purified. But the problem is you can only access that slow with a special 2 or by throwing double mediums in Demonic Rampage. And you can't throw double mediums in Demonic Rampage without landing enough hits close enough together to get into Rampage in the first part, which is really freaking difficult when you're facing an evader. So like,
hold on, buddy. Sorry, are you gonna be? No. Are you streaming after this?
Yeah, I'll probably do some arena afterwards.
Okay, I'm taking my daughter to lunch. She has the week off school, so I'll probably be. Awesome. Yeah. I'm very excited for it. I'm probably gonna do this fight, and then are you able to go like right away? Because we can just, and then we can raid you. It'd be fun. It's totally up to you. No pressure, obviously.
I'll set it up in the background here.
Okay.
But basically just the idea is that Purgatory has a slow, but it only comes up when you're already winning the fight. And I worry that Sam's power drain is a little bit that.
That's how that felt. There was, I was trying to kind of like transfer the special lock straight over in a way. Hopefully that makes sense. And it just felt like, no, I'm still kind of having to bait out a special. The power drain isn't preventing me, or isn't allowing me to just keep going at this frantic pace that I kind of wanted to keep going at.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, I mentioned how it's technically more of a power drain than Nimrod has, but it seems significantly slower.
These 5 Furies, I feel like we're seeing bigger red numbers. I feel like there's bigger. Thanks, BK. I appreciate it, man. Where are we going to lunch? There's a little diner down the street. Little diner. It's fun. It's like a neighborhood diner. I'll just keep saying the word diner over and over.
Yeah, consistency is one way to put it to extreme. I think I might say rather that my biggest issue with her is that you don't feel like you have quite enough control, and there are a couple of her abilities that don't feel balanced with each other. But consistency is definitely part of it.
I feel like the fight was going very smoothly, and we didn't have enough time to transfer to get to the SP2 with the locked on, which was... I'm going to do that again. Because there was a really nice damage increase. I don't remember who suggested doing the Cap Infinity War. I apologize. But it was a good idea. I do think that felt like a lot more damage there.
Yeah.
Travis, exactly. It's and it's always interesting for me when I have Campo and DLL on. Their voices do sound different, but there is an element of like, these guys really should do radio. Mr. Building, what's the address? Oh, I'll just order for you. Come on, I'll text it to you. Super Sam, what's up, dude? KT1, what's up, man? It's been a while. Good to see you. Hope there's enough room for all 83 of us. They do have delicious pancakes. They are absolutely delicious. So I have a feeling I think we're having lunch, and we're more just going to eat a crap ton of sugar. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun, right? That's what childhood is about. That's what I've been told. It has been a good stream. I was so ready to say Cap sucks, but then I was throwing in SB2, and I was like, if he kills the opponent in this SB2, maybe he doesn't suck, and he killed the opponent in the SB2. So now I'm thrown for a loop. I am not so sure anymore. Let's go ahead and do this one more.
I don't know about you, but these days when Level Up comes on, I'm often like, oh god, I don't think I have the catalysts to maximize this.
Yep, that is exactly how I feel right now. I cannot get enough tier 5 basic in. I actually am going to probably stop opening tier 5 CC for a little while.
Yeah, I have those 2 from that one card that I bought, the like 2 fully formed ones. Have not touched them.
That's really smart. I'm about to finish exploring all of 7.3 in hopes and anticipation of 7.4. And I will probably just pick tech out of all. There's the selector tier 5 CC.
Yeah.
And I will probably I will probably just select tech because I have 1 tech, and so I'll just get to 2, and then I have 2, I think, in like 3 or 4 the various class catalysts. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to try to race to my SP2.
Tech is the only one where I don't have 1. Same idea.
Yeah, but then like you just got to wait, right? I mean, I don't want to. It will bother me to see a tier 5 CC expire. That would really bother me.
Yes.
Okay, we really need that there. Whew. We barely made that, didn't we?
Snoop says, I feel like he's going to be Daredevil, Hell's Kitchen, or Emma. Good, not great. Small fan base that swears by them, not really necessary. I can definitely see that argument. At the moment, I think I'm leaning a little more towards somebody like Doc Ock, where it's like this champion can do truly amazing things. They're probably not the best for a lot of fights, but they can be good in a lot of fights, and they're going to be truly incredible at a small niche of them.
Yeah.
But for most of those fights, you're going to need a significant skill cap. Like, the people we know who really play Doc Ock are some of the smartest, most capable players we know. It's possible Sam ends up there.
Is your stream up?
Yes.
Okay. If you can, put the link in the chat. And then, guys, there's some really smart comments here. As I'm really like, if you have to try that hard to think the champion's great, chances are they're not. That's honestly how I'm feeling right now. I'm a little annoyed because I wanted him to be really good, and there's great utility in there. For me, if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know I talk about the flow of the champion. I'm not feeling the flow on this guy. Like, there's the example I always use is Spider-Ham, where like when you needed something, it was there. You needed a taunt, it was there. You needed an evade, it was there. The heavy, like, he just fits well. And with Cap right now to me feels a lot more like the kitchen sink. When I was in law school, the professor was like, "Don't just throw the kitchen sink at me. Like, look, I know you've memorized a lot of stuff. Don't throw everything you've memorized in. It has to actually apply to what we're trying to do here." And Cap is feeling a little kitchen sinky to me. I'm very open to the idea I'm missing something. But having DLL on the call and all of you in the chat, I'm feeling like I'll be surprised. I'll be happily surprised if someone like, I think KT1's doing a grind for him, someone like that, a player of that caliber, shows us videos in 2 or 3 months or 2 or 3 weeks with how great he is. I'll be pleasantly surprised though. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but that might mean more 6 zones for Nimrod. So thank you everyone for watching. I am going to go grab lunch. I have so much fun. I'm going to start really trying to do this on Wednesdays if I can. Hopefully we can get that going more regularly. Thank you, OG Highline, for the awesome donation. I always appreciate the support. And I forgot to say it. Go check out DLL's channel. He's going to stream right now. Let's raid him. Check out his channel. Like, seriously, you will become better at the game. I promise. It's like I feel like I should do a before and after of here's how I used to fight. Then DLL started a channel. Here's how I fight. It's pretty dramatic difference. And DLL, thank you so much for being on the call, man. Let's go over to your raid. Let's raid your stream.
Awesome. And welcome to everybody who's already in the chat. Appreciate that.